My name is Gabriel Barreto. This is Pedro Sanchez.
I'm Valerie, and this is Alex.
We're here to we're here to introduce as how we're going to alleviate spiritual and thus material poverty with music. John.
So, what is music to you? When we were singing this song, what did you feel? Anyone care to share? Just raise your hand. You felt happy.
I felt bad.
Yeah. Anyone else got to share like what their feelings are when they listen to music, or when they are in their home, like they're feeling something and they just put on music? Yes. Relax.
It's like memories. Some memories come back from, when you heard that song the first time.
Yes.
I do inspire you.
Okay.
Nice.
So basically, Ludwig van Beethoven said, music is a higher revelation than all wisdom and philosophy. Music is the electrical soil in which the spirit lives and thinks and invents. Brady Bunch? So what does music do to you? Basically, there's a psychological level of analysis towards music, because it goes way beyond just feeling nice. Something in your brain does happen. So basically, music can affect your nervous system, and it can affect how you think. Sometimes it's said that music increases the levels of dopamine, making you feel happy, as Miss Rumble did. Hence, it really shows that music doesn't only affect you in a sentimental and emotional manner, but in a biological manner. And it's completely scientific. So here's a case study from the British Association, and it was basically about this autistic boy, which they call A. And it talks about how this autistic boy started progressing throughout the education of music, which really goes to show that music can alleviate certain problems and really can help people get through tough moments. And it really is a way of education that progresses and connects to a person.
So the global issues we're going to be targeting are actually two. First is education for all, and the second one is poverty. So in the beginning of the presentation we talked about spiritual poverty. What is spiritual poverty and what is material poverty? Material poverty is the lack of resources. It's when someone does not have their human rights, does not have a shelter, does not have water, does not have health care. Anything like that is considered materialistic poverty. There are many NGOs that help materialistic poverty, like Techo that we have in our school. It's an organization that builds shelter for the people in the slums that do not have where to live. And Crea Más that teaches education, or the Red Cross that gives health care. So then, what is spiritual poverty? We consider spiritual poverty to be like the poverty mentality. So when someone has a lack of economic resources and feels that means that they don't have intrinsic motivation, that they need the reassurance to believe that they can do great things. And they don't believe in what they can do. They don't believe in themselves. Spiritual poverty is basically the poverty of the identity. Not knowing who you are and not feeling good about yourself. How are we going to fix this issue? Through music.
So how can music help us combat spiritual poverty? Essentially, in Jin terms, what is the ideal solution? We're looking at fixing all this intrinsic belief and all this knowing in yourself rather than giving people money or access to supplies. So how do we go about this? Our solution, we had 4 criteria. We wanted it to be manageable. We wanted it to be affordable, long-term, and sustainable. Brady Bunch. So there's a number of projects in our community in FDR that already exist and work very well. And a few of us have already been part of them, and we are going to explain them now. Yeah, we have a video here. Do you have the video? Is there audio?
¿Cómo se llama la iglesia? ¿Y cuándo se cree? ¿Cuál es tu canción favorita? ¿Qué impacto ha tenido la música en esas experiencias? ¿Practica mucho? ¿Dos horas? ¿Y afuera del colegio? ¿Acá? ¿Qué inspiración tienen sobre la música? ¿Ustedes quieren hacer algo cuando vengan? ¿Te gusta también cantar? ¿No quieres hacer algo con música? ¿Qué quieres hacer?
So these, I will expand upon this program later. So this is Sinfonía por el Perú, which is one of the initiatives we take at our school. It was inspired upon a program in Venezuela, and I won't ramble too much about this because I'm going to talk about this later. But essentially, it's an NGO that dedicates itself to teaching different instruments and directing a band to children which have no economic means to actually play the instrument or receive musical education. And we believe that this is really beneficial because it's absolutely the initiative of the NGOs. So it is not something you pay for. Anyone between the ages of from 5 to 18 may join. And it is really something that, as you have seen, changes the musical experience because not only have they found a purpose in life and a job they want to follow, but they also follow different traits such as, for example, trying to strive for musical excellence and having discipline when practicing for your instrument.
So we want to bring this back to the people that we collaborate with, which is, this is one of them. Triumph Honor Society is a music club at school, and they were kind of very involved in these projects, and currently me and Alex are both in the Honor Society. It focuses on expanding music to local communities, but there is a service component involved in spreading music and just spreading our passion, really, because Alex and I have been musicians for years, and Valerie has too. But
I like to sing in the shower.
next slide. Yeah, next slide.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the Pampas Initiative, which was one of the projects that the latest project that we've done as Triumph, that the last cabinet headed. So this is essentially what happened. Triumph went to Pampas, which is a rural community in Huaraz, about like 8-hour drive from Lima. Yeah. So it was a very long time to get there, and I went there once. Gabriel went there twice, and there was a total of 3 visits there to spread music, which was the goal. It focused on exposure to music rather than mastery of it. And what that means is they didn't want to make them into professional drummers, professional guitarists. They wanted them to expose to, we wanted to expose them to, let's say, the feeling of music and let them express themselves however they want to. Because we didn't want to take away their culture, but at the same time we wanted to empower them to be able to express themselves. And we wanted them to come out thinking that music was something important to them and relevant to them, and it wasn't just a pastime. So from this we learned, in a word, sustainability. Because I'm still the president, but at the time we've had so many discussions with the cabinet saying, this isn't going to work, well, let's just do it, I mean, we'll try it, it's a pilot, and at the end, this was the question that was in my mind the whole time. Why were we going to Huaraz when there was plenty of kids needing this help closer by? Right? Because we had to pay a lot of money for the transport. We had to go there and bother the people that were homestaying us, and it was just not sustainable. This is the visit. This is the film festival video that we had of the Huaraz visit, and I just want to play it while I talk. No, it's not. If it doesn't play, then you guys have already seen it. So. Okay, let's just keep it. Alex. Or Valerie, sorry.
So basically, another initiative that we've taken at the school was the Practice-a-thon. And it was a fundraiser that is based on a musician obtaining funds. But if you look at Practice-a-thon, it's a win-win situation. in the sense that both the child and the people that donate the money and everything get. Because the kid is earning more practice, hence becoming better in the instrument and dominating it better. And at the same time, they're getting money for it. So we thought that this was a perfect way to combine into our solution because of the funds. And like in our school, we've had logs, and it really is a process that helps you track down everything, and it's really organized. So it's a good way of getting funds, and at the same time, making people like more aware of music and practice a lot more their instrument.
I'm not sure if you were clear with the getting funds, but essentially you would get sponsors, so you would tell your uncle, your dad, and say, hey, for every hour I practice, like I'll get 50 cents. And that way, if you get a ton of people and you start doing hours and hours and you fill out your pledge form, you started getting money. And by the end of the session, you would turn it all in and it would go to the Practice Fund Fund.
Okay, now Sinfonía por Peru, which was the program I was talking before. As I mentioned, Sinfonía por Peru was inspired by a program that was taken in Venezuela, where a man decided that it would be ideal and that the best way to spread music to local communities that didn't have access to music would be through a purely, say, social initiative in which they decided to teach and to generate bands, or say, sinfonías, as we call them in Peru. And essentially their mission was to spread music throughout the regions of the country which have limited or zero access to either the musical education or actual instruments. And their aim in doing so is to dramatically change the lives of thousands of individuals in the country. Because as we mentioned before, the problem with spiritual poverty is that these children believe that they can't achieve anything further than they already do. And what we're trying to prove here is that essentially when you grab an instrument, these children are on equal grounds as anyone else. And these children have the same ability to excel if they maintain their discipline. And these are also some of the benefits they were trying to reap from these programs. Because being involved in music, also, I mean, you have to invest a lot of time into it. You have to be disciplined. You have to strive for excellence, because that's usually what musicians do. You're always trying to become better at what you do. And these are benefits which are really useful, especially for some of the things that they can't achieve anything. Because suddenly they have multiple doors that open for them. And also in Sinfonía de Peru, they also strive towards aiming a professional aspect. So they also encourage, for example, say concerts in our Teatro Nacional de Peru, which is our national theater. They constantly have concerts in different regions of Peru. And also they usually open the doors to different, I don't know, for example, contracts. And they have a wide gamma of networks, like we do here, to different musicians in Peru, which open the doors for these children. Because now, not only do they have the resources to learn music, but also the contacts to strive when you're inside the music industry, which is aiming more towards what they're going to do in the future.
Pretty much. So, from these three projects that are already happening or happened, what did we learn? So, no, stay there.
So basically from Practice-a-thon, we learned that it was a win-win situation to have a type of fund that you could get funds, but at the same time have the child practice in a very organized and good way. And at the same time, this practice generates good mood for the kid because he plays more and he's like happier. And it really goes to show how music really affects a person and truly helps eliminate that essential lack of identity.
For Pampas, like I already said, we learned about sustainability and how hard it is to manage a project when it's so far away. It's expensive to go there, and it's just not viable to keep doing it repeatedly.
And from Sinfonía por Peru, we learned that we can actually make a sustainable project done solely from the drive of social initiative. And also we learned about the benefits of teaching music to these children and how it actually addresses the issue of spiritual poverty, which is what we're focusing on in the presentation.
So, our solution. This is pretty much the criteria that we made for our solution. It's a teaching program that is close by, affordable, and managed by a variety of people to take the load of forming a long-term solution in an area. That doesn't really mean anything alone. So let me just tell you. For Pampas, we learned that we didn't want to go 6 hours to go away because that was unmanageable and we could only go 3 months. Sinfonía Peru, Practice-a-thon has a great model as to how to raise funds. They take the kids that want to practice music and they get money from them. And then Sinfonía para Peru actually goes out there with funds received from donations and takes them out there and teaches the music, right? So The solution that we wanted to, which we are rolling out in November, is a project similar to Sinfonía del Peru in an environment that's closer by, in Lima, in which we will raise the funds with members of Triumph and other people that want to join, like the practice-a-thon. Roll out there with Triumph and anyone that wants to participate, and go on a week-by-week basis, or if not a bi-weekly basis, to go out there, teach music, and get the kids inspired and thinking that they're doing something cool. That's it. So.
Okay. Now we have an activity for all of you. As you saw in the beginning, we're doing a pop song, and now we wanted you guys to do it with us.
So you've heard us play music. You've heard us. You know that when you play music, you're happy. You've heard us talk about how other people feel happy when playing music.
Guys, alright guys, so wait. I'm gonna have you guys separate into 3 groups. So, can the coordinated people come over here? Can the middle people come over here? And can the coordinate the challenge come over here?
So people that consider themselves coordinated